Imagine a game where you could roam alongside Pokemon, seeing them live out their lives in the wild, catching them seamlessly in the overworld by just chucking balls at them, fighting with them in battles, and maybe even ride them to scout the lands, searching for even more friends to tear away from their homes. Now, and it might sound crazy, but imagine if this game was actually well fleshed out and full of life. Well, believe it or not, but a game like that already exists and has been out for a while now. No, not this one. We're going to be playing the Superior Legends game, Pixelmon. For those of you who don't know anything about Pixelmon, it's essentially a mod that adds Pokemon to Minecraft, but they aren't just there as decoration. You can actually catch them in or out of battle, and the battle system is a one-to-one recreation of the mainline series. Every mechanic introduced included. Imagine playing Legends Arceus, but Pokemon actually have their abilities back. These developers have gone above and beyond with the depth of the mechanics. It's not just the battle mechanics they've replicated, but this goes right down to the mechanics surrounding battles as well. They've implemented IVs, EVs, abilities, hidden abilities, breeding, even egg moves, and far more. So surely there's some limitations, right? Like how many Pokemon could they have added while still including such detailed mechanics? All of them. All 905 of them, including alternate forms, right down to the new Hisuian Pokemon, in a mod designed for Minecraft. Now, truth be told, I never really got too far when playing previously since I play on my own, and my friends rarely ever show any interest in Pokemon, let alone a niche Minecraft mod. But luckily for me, I got approached by a server called PocketPixels run by a small upcoming YouTuber called A-Drive and his team. And I may have spent a couple of more hours than a grown man with real world responsibilities should on a video game. But hey, if I can make a video on it and get paid, technically I'm not wasting any time. This was also my super subtle way of telling you that this is a sponsored video, but I'll be doing whatever I feel like and find fun. And there are a ton of things to do on the server. It's super simple to get started. All you need is a Minecraft Java account, the Technic Launcher, which is a free download, and an internet connection. I've linked all the resources and tutorials in the description if you too wish to join me. I think this could be a fun little thing that we do in the community every now and then. I'm going to have a series of long-term and short-term goals, with the main feature I'm going to focus on being gyms. PocketPixels has various community events and features, including 16 different gyms, 8 normal ones, and 8 hard mode ones. And all of these gyms are run by real people. We had to fight against real breathing people with real strategies, because they also use Pokemon competitively trained to kick our ass. Exactly what us Nuzlockers are looking for. Now this will be slightly different compared to my usual videos in the sense that I'm going to be doing this as a mini-series. There's just way too much to put in one video, and unlike the vanilla games where I can just candy up and use PK Hex to roll gyms, I'll be taking my time with this one, cause hey, I like playing games casually too. Also, this is going to be a test run for when Violet comes out, since I don't want to rush the game just to get a video out when November rolls around. If this isn't your preferred kind of video, don't worry, I'm still doing my fully edited Nuzlocke alongside this series, but I figured this would just be a good way for me to get some content out without being completely burnt out, needing to complete Nuzlocke within a week. So please join me on play.pocketpixels.net. The servers recently got reset, so now's the perfect time to start since everyone will be on a similar level, with fresh new beginnings. Also, make sure to get your starter pack. All you do is go to the store, go to Pixelmon, featured items, select the welcome pack, fill out your Minecraft username and the server you're playing on, just select no add-ons for now, and press continue. This pack is entirely free and includes a shiny Pokemon and a Master Ball. This would have saved me so much heartache if I had just done it earlier. The server overlords were also kind enough to give me a couple of free keys which I'll be using at the very end of the video. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's actually hop into the server first. They all actually have different sets of gyms, so you can essentially play 4 different story modes on the server. I picked the Quantum server because something tells me that this is the underdog. Right off the bat, we get a whole variety of starters. We're not just limited to the standard trios. Now for this game, I don't really want to limit myself on what I can use. And look, I rarely ever use pseudo legendaries. Let me be basic. And it's shiny. I wish I knew that beforehand because Beldum was right there. And we get thrown into the world. Now they've done us the favor of laying out a path, giving us all the information we need to start our... Oh, hi there. It got in the first ball. Must be fate. Oh, also you can get Pokemon to follow you in this game. They've got a nicely laid out path to get us ready for our adventure, showcasing various features, including a GTS system which I thought was really cool. But I want to jump to the 2 things that interest me the most. The first one being the Battle Road. Now we don't really want to fight the gyms immediately, as they'll require some actual preparation unlike the vanilla games. But I figured in the meantime I could at least do some intermediate battles with these guys, considering their levels increase as we go along the road. One of my longer term goals is to defeat all of them, including the big man Guzma himself. But at the end of the battle road, there is something that can actually make a challenge like this possible without playing this as a part-time job. A training ground filled with Chansey ready to be slaughtered, and a couple of trainers as well. And just beyond them, we have the EV training hubs for each of the 6 stats. And remember, the gyms are cracked in this game. We might actually need to use them. Just outside, I managed to catch a Dratini, but I'm unsure if I should count this one considering we just had a very friendly Ghastly welcome us at the start. So I think it's a good time we talk about encounters. This is technically a Nuzlocke after all. As to talk about encounters, let's head to my next favorite feature of the server, the Safari Zone. Here we can go through a bunch of very detailed terrains of various different kinds and with their own encounter tables to find Pokemon that may generally be harder to come around in the overworld. And I figured for day 0, how about we just spend a day here catching as many Pokemon as we can as a grace period, so that we can select 6 to begin our challenge, not including my starter. The way I'll be handling my encounters after day 1 begins is that every day I'll be allowed to add 1 Pokemon to my team at the end of the day. But throughout the day, I can catch as many Pokemon as I want. Extra Pokemon won't be released, but would rather act as reserves which I can pick up at the end of the next day. One of my long-term goals is to complete the decks as much as I can, and this felt like a good way for me to do so without only getting 1 new entry a day. As a balancing measure, I'll be limiting myself to only 1 box, with me unlocking a new one every 2 badges we get. I can choose to replace my Pokemon whenever a new day rolls around, but the one discarded would count as dead and unusable. This may seem a bit too easy on the surface, but remember, competitive teams and Pokeballs are harder to come by in this game. While we get a good starting pack, sustaining ourselves will be a different story. The first place that caught my eye was this gemstone cave. I want to try and find encounters that would be harder to come by once we head to the mainland. So I think we can get a good variety of encounters here. I find an absolutely chunky Aaron and decide to make him mine. Just as he gets in the ball, a Larvitar spawns out of nowhere. I have no clue if it's rare or not, so I figure I should catch it for good measure. If I'm using pseudos, I might as well go all out. But it just wouldn't get in the ball. I spent far too long on this. But there was a reason for this, as fate would have me find the best thing I've found so far in this game. A teeny tiny Larvitar barges in, taking center stage, catching the ball the other one dodged, and as we both watch in disbelief, it gets in on the first try. We now have 2 pseudo-legendaries. Oh my god, look at him. But that's not where our luck ends. Just as I'm looking for a final encounter, the next member of my team appears, our true pseudo-legendary, Zubat. Of course I'm using Zubat. Sure, I can just catch one anywhere, but I want one now. Oh, and I found a shiny Carbink. That's cool, I guess. Just my luck that my first shiny is a Carbink. But that means we can cross off our first short-term goal, catching a shiny. We will be playing with the shiny claws in this game, and that'll extend to other special spawns as well, including legendaries. They still have to abide by the 1 box rule though. I also pick up a Drillbur because Excadrill is a beast, and I've already spent too much time here. We probably shouldn't waste the entire grace period, so on to the next location. I really like the way these terrains just blend into each other. While near the watchtower, I run into my next catch, Zorua. It's not the Hisuian one, but I still really want it. It takes far too many balls. My next destination was actually the volcanic area, but on the way we run into an oasis guarded by a massive Sigilif. I love Sigilif, and it's usually amazing in Nuzlocke, getting some very good early game moves, but it would just not get into the ball. I threw so many, but the Guardian of the Lake wasn't having it. I even got into a battle before it started kicking me into the dirt. Here are how many balls I had before I decided to leave. Yup, I have no clue why, but I wasted every single ball I had left on him. So we have no Pokeballs left, and that's going to be a bit of an issue for us. But there are nice and simple ways to restock. The obvious one is crafting them ourselves, but we're a bit lacking in materials at the moment. The second way is to head to our next warp zone. There's a whole shopping district. Here we can buy everything we need from Pokeballs to evolutionary stones to mega stones. With in-game money, of course, just to clarify. Money's pretty simple to earn on the server, though I'll touch up a bit on that later when I build my base. For now, the quickest way to earn some quick cash is by either battling these trainers on the battle road, but even quicker, typing /vote to get a link which will give you 4 different sites to vote for the server on. Here you just type in your username, click vote, and you earn 500 coins and a vote key per site. You can do this once a day and it's a super quick way to earn money. These vote keys can be used on vote crates to earn random loot, including more money, special items, or claim blocks. I land some quick balls, and with my newly purchased Pokeballs, the night is still young. Back to the Safari Zone, I catch a Zangoose, a Togedemaru, and then waste all of my balls on a Hisuian Sneasel, which I don't even catch. I have a problem. Well, at least I had the self-control to keep a few balls for myself this time. And with that, the night is over, and so is our grace period. I decide the first 6 Pokemon to join my team, excluding my starter and Carbink, because it's a shiny, will be Ghastly, since it was the first Pokemon to welcome us, Zubat, because of course I'm using Zubat, and I still have yet to showcase my favorite part of this mod. Then Drillbur, Zorua, and Zangoose. Zangoose especially has some really good moves for its level. Not the most well-balanced team, but we'll sort that out once we get to the mainland. Speaking of which, let's actually start this challenge. Sorry, I realize this video is going to be mostly me just showcasing the features and getting our challenge started. I promise I'll be focusing more on the gameplay the next one onwards. I'll be returning to the Safari Zone every 10th day, but for now, our Safari game is over. We can type /RTP and this will give us a variety of different biomes to randomly spawn into. My main focus at the moment is to set up a good core for us to catch and train Pokemon, so I choose to teleport into a forest until I find one near a mountain, to, you know, do the mining and crafting portion of Minecraft. For my first day, I commit a bit of deforestation and plant some saplings in my wake. Can't destroy the landscape too much. I also grab some apricorns which we can use to craft Pokeballs ourselves in the future, with these ones being the initial seeds we can plant. The mountainscape wasn't really providing me the resources I wanted, so instead I decided to set out to find a suitable location for my first base of operations. I saw a giant monolith in the sky, so I figured it's probably best to run the opposite direction. On the way, we mostly ran through various forests, but I think for my first base I just want some flat land to start growing apricorns for balls. I even came across a hidden village in the forest, which was absolutely ransacked. Guess we should probably keep going to find some fresh land. Though I did find someone hiding out here. Poor Cyrus was too embarrassed to show his face in front of his grunts after he called him out on his grammar blunder while he was trying to control space and time. Even changed his name. I think he knows better now. Nearby, I also snagged myself a little grubbin whose line is probably my favorite regional bug. She's got to be part of the team at some point. While looking for land, let's talk about level caps. Now, while Pokemon can spawn at all levels, and we aren't really limited to catching only certain ones of a certain level like another certain game, so I thought having level caps would be kind of boring, limiting our Pokemon hunt. But a cool feature about the server and their gyms is that they have inbuilt rules, including limited Pokemon and level caps for their battles. Meaning for the first gym, which has a level cap of 25, you can't even have a level 26 Pokemon in your party, and you can only bring 3 Pokemon. Because of this, I figured I'll just abolish level caps entirely, allowing myself to level up Pokemon as much as I want, with the catch being that if they're over-leveled, then I straight up won't be able to use them in the gyms. So I have to be careful about which Pokemon I train and use for day-to-day tasks. This also brings me to our first short-term goal. I don't think we'll be fighting gyms in this video, but at the very least, I want to start preparing Pokemon for the first 4 gyms. We have a normal gym, a bug gym, a psychic gym, and then a grass water gym, with the level caps being 25, 35, 45, and 55 respectively. As you can see, our team isn't really suited to taking any of these on, especially since we'll be fighting competitive Pokemon. So we'll slowly build up our team over these next 25 days, with us going back to the Safari Zone every 10th day, while we do our basic tasks. Speaking of which, just at the dawn of the new day, I found the perfect place to begin my new base. We have plenty of flat land to start growing apricorns, and an untouched mountain to start mining for ore. Now, I don't really want to waste my diamond tools too early, and we're still lacking enough apricorns to start farming, but the server has us covered. If you type in /kits, we can select the tools kit giving us all the iron tools, and the apricorn kit giving us 32 of each apricorn. More than enough to start our orchard, so I claim some land with my golden shovel and spend the new day plotting out my farm, and planting apricorns hoping that they'll grow while I do some mining, and some general cleanup. I planted them with the 2-block gap, which ended up being a mistake, but I didn't realize this until way later. For now, I planted equal amounts of red, blue, green, yellow, and black apricorns, as these will provide us with ultra, quick, and dusk balls, which will be the most useful ones. The red apricorns can be used for Pokeballs, which can be made in much larger quantities for us to spam. This is a pretty good start, but I'll be optimizing this in the future. During this day and the next, I also flatten out some land to build my first home, and get digging for some coal as we'll be needing a lot to get us started. I end the day battling the early trainers on the battle road to make some quick cash. They only have level 10 starters, and I figure Gibble won't really be too useful for the next few gyms, so I should train them up for self-defense. While here, we can also really conveniently EV train our Pokemon on these trainers using fully evolved Pokemon at level 5. Without any boosts, defeating each trainer will give you 18 EV points. During this time, Gibble evolves into Gabite, Zubat into Golbat, and her happiness level is already quite high. We may actually be able to get the fabled Crobat sooner than I thought. Her levels are starting to get high, but I think I want her for the bug gym, so we have a bit of leeway. And with the start of the new day, we can start building our house. This isn't going to be my permanent location, so I don't want to go too crazy right now. Thankfully, we start with 2 stacks of wood, and we already chopped down some earlier. There's also a great feature where we can just chop one log of a tree to fell the entire thing. If you watch my other videos, you know how much of a fan I am of removing pointless grinding. We even get some extra claim blocks by checking our daily challenges by tapping /dailies. I don't remember doing these, but I'll take it. After claiming some land, I spend the next 2 days just building out my house. And while building my house, we had plenty of guests. I caught a Graveler and a Machoke, both of which I can evolve immediately using a trader. A Hakamoto, we may actually get all of the pseudo-legendaries in this run. Rockruff, who crawled through my windows. And who gets shaken up by a gang of Graveler with the Geodude lackeys, led by the tiniest cast form I've ever seen. I shouldn't have taken their brother from them. And finally a Clefairy, through which catching, Golbat gained enough XP to level up and evolve. Welcome home, Crobat. And that is our initial base built up. A quaint little place, but it has everything we need for now. I think now would be a good time to finally start mining for some ore to start crafting some tools, including Pokeballs. I head out to the mountainside to start digging for coal so I don't have to carry it with me all the way back to base. And it turns out Larvitar isn't as rare as I initially thought. Defeating them also seems to give you emeralds occasionally, so that's something we should remember for later. Getting a decent amount of coal, I hauled this back to base and we can head out into the wild to start searching for a nice place to start mining for basic ores. Now walking would be exhausting. I feel like we need a better view. And with my brand new Crobat, guess what we can do? Hopping onto Crobat's back, we can soar into the skies and at Mach speed scour the land searching for resources. Name me one game where you can fly on a Pokemon's back. Okay, one where you can fly on any Pokemon you want that has wings. I come across a ravine pretty early that looks fairly untouched, and I figured this would be a perfect place to get some iron, which we'll be needing to craft Pokeballs since we're beginning to run out. While diving down into the ravine, I fall into a mine shaft that looks like no one's explored. I'm still pretty close to a spawn point, so I was really surprised by this, and I spent far too long here. I'm talking a couple of in-game days. But here, we get a massive haul of all the materials we need, including some special items. And with day 10 approaching, I figured we should start making some balls. I even found a Tynamo on my way out. And a Magikarp that was really living its life on the edge. I contemplated catching it, but I think it's already got its life figured out. Back to base, and it seems our trees are starting to bear fruit, which means we have everything we need. Smelting our ore, we can get the iron needed for Pokeball bases, which every kind of Pokeball needs. And smelting the apricorns gives us cooked apricorns, which we can use in various combinations to create different Pokeball tops. Bear in mind, lower tier balls can be made in bulk, whereas better ones are more resource expensive. And where did you come from? Get in the ball. Get in the ball. This little would not get in, so I tried to battle it, and tragedy struck. I clicked on my bag, and my entire game crashed. Not the server, my game. And unfortunately, on loading, there was no one near me at the time, so the chunks despawned, and so did Meltan. I have no clue what the conditions needed to spawn Meltan were, but it's gotta be a rare encounter, right? Like, that was the first time I saw one, and as of writing this, I still have yet to run into another. I was just so caught off guard and upset that I started wandering around in the rain. I just stopped recording for a day. I love Melmetal. Next we need to smelt some cobblestone to make it into smooth stone to craft into buttons, and we now have every part we need to make Pokeballs. I decided to stick to the basics, crafting some Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls for now, and we can make our second trip to the Safari Zone. I figure we need some fire types for 2 of the gyms we'll be fighting, so head to the desert. We're heading in the mountains. There is a little nether cave with all the encounters we want. And also witnessed a raid battle which looked pretty cool and something I want to try out later. Here I catch myself a Growlithe, an MP Dimp, and a Turtonator. All encounters I can evolve before the level cap for the gyms I need them for. And leaving the nether cave, back into the desert I found a Sandile. And look, we have loads of ground types already, but I can't say no to a Sandile. And it looks like this prick wants round 2. Oh, it actually got in easier than I thought. Good, because I would have absolutely wasted all of my balls on it. I don't even know why I want Sigilif at this point. I also find a Fennekin, who I'm not particularly fond of, but it was the first starter I ran into, so I figured I'll catch it. Unfortunately, all of the balls I didn't waste on Sigilif, I spent on Kangaskhan, who I thought would be a really good addition with a Mega. But unlike Sigilif, She actually got in the ball. Eventually. So no need to cut our losses just yet. With the remaining Pokeballs I have, I figure I should look for some grass and water types. Not necessarily for the gyms, but some coverage would be nice. Into the marsh and I catch Lotad, who literally perfectly encapsulates everything I wanted. And then Goomy, who I just threw a ball at for the sake of it, and then actually got in. I might actually get every pseudo-legendary. And with that, the new day dawned, and my time in the Safari Zone was up. We have a pretty good haul of Pokemon now, and 10 which we can add to the team. Time to get some training in. Now there's a cool feature in this mod where you can lock your levels, so you don't gain any more XP to overlevel by accident. Unfortunately, however, it seems like they don't gain any EVs either. I figure I should spend the next few days just EV training all of my Pokemon that I think I'll be using for the upcoming gyms, while they're still a low level, to get the most out of them. So for the next 3 days, I spend the entire time fleshing out my team for the first 2 gyms, EV training Crobat, Growlithe, Carbink, Zangoose, and Ghastly, who evolves into a Haunter, and can later evolve into a Gengar with some help from my friends. No real friends this time. Once they've hit the cap, I realize my everyday team's looking pretty empty. I think I need some bodyguards to level up just as a safety net. Remember, we have no level caps. Doing this just prevents us from using them in the gyms. For my team, I keep Gabite and pick up Drilbur, Lotad, Aaron, and my tiny little baby Larvitar, spending the next day just power boosting their levels until they're around the level 55 mark. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, they still could be useful in the gyms later down the line. During this time, Gabite evolves into a Garchomp, Drilbur into an Excadrill, Aaron into Aggron, and my baby Larvitar into a baby Tyranitar. Oh, he's a good little Godzilla. Look at that size difference. I love them. Oh, and Lotad into Lombre. Now we just need a stone to evolve Lombre. And in the base mod, this can be a really annoying process, needing to find 9 shards of a particular stone that you want. But on this server, we can just head to the shopping district and purchase a water stone for just 100 coins. This can be covered by voting just once. And Lombre is already a Ludicolo. I figure while I'm here, I may as well get a Fire, Moon, and Thunderstone, evolving Growlithe into an Arcanine, Clefairy into a Clefable, and Charjabug into a Vikavolt. Alright, I gotta try this. Oh my god, look at him go. So speedy. Alright, we already have our beloved Crobat, but I think she'll have some competition for the fly slot. I think I'm happy with the progress I made for this video, but there are a couple of things I want to do before I wrap up. The first is revamping my farm now that I know better. We have some more claim blocks now, just by doing my dailies, and playing the game as normal so we can increase our growing space. I also want to optimize my layout so I can grow apricorns for Great Balls, Quick Balls, and Dusk Balls in bulk. Ultra Balls are a bit too expensive. And the remaining land can be used for the rest, just so we have it if needed. I also purchased some citrus and lumberries from the shopping district which you can also plant. I have yet to think of the ideal ratio, so for the time being I plant a single row of red apricorns, 3 rows of blue, green, and black apricorns, and fill out some space with the yellow ones. Now I was kinda stupid and cooked a few of my green and black apricorns, so we have to fill out the remaining spots once my trees grow. Whatever remaining land I have, I fill with the white and pink apricorns, which aren't really too useful, but are nice to have. We can make some Premier Balls, which are my favorite. Once they're planted, I head back to the shopping district where I purchase a healer, a trader, and a PC. These can all be covered by 3 votes. Remember, you can vote 4 times a day, so you can get 1 right as you start. And money isn't that hard to make, but I'll cover that in a future video. Back home, I can put them down, and I think this is starting to look like a real base now. This isn't going to be my permanent location, but I think it's certainly a good start. I figure what better way to end than by doing a few battles. I still don't think we're ready for gyms, but I can at least take on part of the battle road, with the trainers around level 50. The level 25s are pretty straightforward with Pokemon in my 50s, but this Jock right here gives Lance a run for his money with his level 25 Dragonite. What did he do to his poor Dratini? But once we get to the 50s, there's a pretty big difficulty spike for these trainers. I wouldn't spoil them too much just so you can try them out yourselves, but these guys have full competitive teams, using some pretty strong mons. Like this first guy leads with Drizzle Pelipper and has a Metagross, Sceptile, and Aggron. He does give me some trouble, especially with his Metagross, who I almost lost my Garchomp to with his Ice Punch. We narrowly dodged it with a Dig, which baited him to use Earthquake as the AI expected double damage with us underground. This was also when I realized that each trainer is using Pokemon from a particular generation in this level group. The next one had Infernape that could have rolled my team if not for Ludicolo, also having both Garchomp and Weavile to clean up. This Gen 5 trainer seemed unreasonably easy compared to the ones I was fighting up until now, despite having one of the strongest generation of Pokemon. Starting off with Bisharp, who does a lot with Sucker Punch, we can end it quickly with an Earthquake. Alomo Mola was kind of annoying with the Wish Protect spam, but Ludicolo can eventually whittle it down with Giga Drain. Superior was walled by Crobat. Excadrill is the first threatening Pokemon, but we can switch into Crobat on the Earthquake, and then Ludicolo on the Iron Head. We resist both of its stabs, so we can end this quickly with a Bubble Beam. Excuse me? In what world does Excadrill run Poison Jab? It's only good against fairies, who Excadrill already handles with Steel, and Grass, which is a type that it shouldn't even need to prepare for. I was not expecting to already lose a Pokemon before I even challenged a gym, and it had to be Ludicolo as well. Alright, I need to pick me up. Let's use those keys. I finally opened up my welcome pack, getting that Master Ball that could have been amazing for that Pokemon that got away. Meltan will never despawn from my heart. And we get a shiny Darmanitan. Darmanitan's amazing, that's actually pretty hype. It's not Galarian, but at least it has Sheer Force. Getting the Zen version would have been pretty sad. And the 2 keys I received were the Calming Night keys, which feature a pool of shiny Pokemon. We've got 2, so let's see how it goes. You can type /warp crates, just as you do with the vote keys, and let's find the Calming Night crate. Alright, first one, let's go. You can see all of the various Pokemon you can get spinning all around us, and I think I just got one. Kinda missed the text. What? That was my first key. There she is, just in my party. How did I get a shiny legendary in my first video? Alright, Jolly Nature, that checks out. She's actually beautiful. Please tell me this works. It does! Sorry Crobat, sorry Vikavolt, I think Lunala is the winner. Alright, we have one more. Okay, let's be honest, nothing was going to live up to Lunala hype. Houndour is just out there doing her best. And I think that's a good place to wrap up for today. I've been having loads of fun playing Pixelmon. It really does feel like that open world Pokemon game that I'm sure most of us have dreamt of since we were kids. And if you guys want to play, I do highly recommend the play.pocketpixels.net servers. The community has been super welcoming and friendly, and there's so much depth that I haven't even covered in this video. I want to see more people on the Quantum server. As I said at the start, I've linked all the info you need in the description. All you need is a Minecraft Java account, and then you can follow the instructions on getpixelmon.com. Also be sure to join the Pocket Pixel Discord if you plan on playing. So join me on the Quantum server and be sure to visit. My current coordinates are x-74 and z522. Also remember that monolith I ran away from at the start? Well, it turns out I made a loop at some point and landed quite literally right next to it. Like whoever owns that monstrosity, I'm their neighbor. So that's a pretty good landmark. I think it would be pretty fun to play as a community, like start our own town or something. You know, maybe an evil team? Thanks for watching. This is kinda like a little experiment to see how more episodic videos are received, since I want to release more content in between my really long videos while still being able to play games casually. I said these were supposed to be shorter, and this one ended up being like 30 minutes. Setting the stage takes time, okay? My subsequent videos will be a bit shorter. Promise. I reckon this would be something pretty fun to stream with you guys as well. Don't worry, the long videos aren't going anywhere, but please do let me know in the comments what you think, and if you'd be interested in more of these types of videos in the future, even if they're different games. Also subscribe. That number's increasing again, and I hope to see you guys on the server.